It's been a while. Let's get to it. We are here. We are here. Welcome to the Coaches Huddle, where the field meets family. It's your boy, the coach, and we are back for another call-in show. And like I said before, it's been a while, guys and gals. I have been extremely busy. It's holiday season. Work is ramping up. Got to get the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. And get everything handled for the holidays. But don't look now, but we got a mid-off. The 6-8 San Francisco 49ers face the 6-8 Miami Dolphins Sunday night and Sunday afternoon. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about the game, how you feel about the season. Right about now, any direction is game, right? We don't have to go into this entire cadence of, what are the playoff implications? We already know what that stuff is about right now. Where we stand right now is we want to be able to talk about what are next steps. If you want to talk about Miami, we could talk about Miami. We can go there. If you want to talk about, moving on into the draft, free agency, cuts, how we got to do to move forward, all of that good stuff, we can get into that too. We are not, I don't know. If we're tanking, I want to know if guys how we feel about that. But look, right now, I just want to hear, how you feel about the team thus far. If you've assessed anything, how you feel about the coaching staff, the players. Couple of things that I just don't want to talk about, to be honest with you. I do not want to talk about he who shall not be named, Mr. Campbell. Please, let's just move on. But moving forward, if you want to get into Brock, the recent reports of Brock possibly wanting $55 million per, moving on and getting paid. I mean, there's just a lot to talk about as far as where we stand. And I got my first guy up right here. Remember, guys, the link is pinned in the chat. But I got my boy, Chunder Boy. Let's talk about it, bro. How you been, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Oh, you ain't coming in here with the Matrix voice, dog. You about to get me in. I try to come in here all cool, and you starting already. So where we at, man? Is your connection straight?
I don't know. Technology, I hope so. I don't know. You tell me if it's not, and I'll try to get it fixed.
Oh, no, it's good to go. It's good to go. It's just spotty. Just no sudden movements. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just talk.
Okay. So I'll get to Miami in a second, but there's something I need to get off my chest on this show. So you and I talk quite a bit off camera and have for, a couple of years now. And I have always been a Shanna stan for the most part. I'm willing to acknowledge his weaknesses and I'm willing to acknowledge his shortcomings, but I have always felt that the strengths far outweigh the weaknesses. That's just kind of always the approach that I've had.
Okay.
And you have tried your best to convince me there are things in coaching that matter outside of scheme and outside of knowing what the other team is going to do and things of that nature. I've been a little bit too much of a nerd and not enough of a football guy when thinking about how to think about Kyle Shanahan. And I've had moments where I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I was elated when the 49ers hired Kyle Shanahan. I was even happier when he gutted the entire roster because that is not the kind of thing that coaches have the balls to do very often. I was very happy throughout the first several years when it seemed like he only cared how somebody performed on the field. He didn't care what their contract was. He didn't care what their draft position was. He just wanted to put the best players on the field. Some of that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
When Ricky Bell is on the field instead of Jacob Cowing or even Chris Connolly, well, you're not putting the best guy out there. You're putting somebody out there who's quote unquote earned your trust.
Ronnie, but
how?
We understand.
I have no idea. So some things throughout time. So after the Bills game, I was pissed because this football team has, I mean, how many Hall of Famers are on this team? I mean, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey, maybe Bosa, depending on how his career goes and if he stays healthy. Like,
he's for the possible.
Yeah, and then you have, 4 or 5 other guys that are Pro Bowl caliber or all-pro caliber players who may or may not eventually get somewhere. So this much talent on a team that can't seem to beat a good team really started to bother me after that Bills game because we didn't lose to Green Bay. We didn't lose to the Bills. We got embarrassed by both teams. And people want to talk about injuries. The Detroit Lions have 16 defensive players. That's just defense. 16 defensive players on IR, and they're 10-2. I don't want to hear about injuries. Every team in the NFL has to deal with injuries. Kansas City Chiefs are 9-1 or 10-1 or whatever they are. They've had a ton of injuries. Good organizations overcome injuries. The thing that was just kind of in the back of my mind after that game was, God, it just seems like we can never beat a good team. So I did a little digging. When I say a little, I do mean a little. I haven't dug into this all the way. So if there's somebody out there with statistics that will correct this, I'm open to hear it. But I did a quick cursory look through it. I know I did like the Chat GPT research thing, which is actually usually pretty accurate when it comes to statistics. Kyle Shanahan has a sub 500 record against teams with a winning record, meaning above 500. For his entire tenure in the 49ers. When you go a little further, okay, those aren't good teams. Those are 500 teams. When you go to a 600 winning percentage or better, he is now below 40%. When you go to a 700 or better, it gets even worse. Every time Kyle Shanahan has to play good teams, they get mollywopped. That's a problem. I don't care how good your scheme is. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care if you have a track record of elevating quarterbacks. I don't care if you turned Josh Gordon into the best wide receiver in football for 1 year or made Brian Hoyer look like a competent quarterback for that one season. Those are the things that I used to rely on to defend Kyle Shanahan. And look what he's done everywhere along the way. But those are all offensive coordinator statistics, not head coach statistics. The only head coach statistic that matters is winning. And when we face good teams with good defensive coordinators, we lose more than we win. And that, pardon my language, is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
So going into this Miami game, I really don't care if we win or lose. I hate to say that. Obviously, I want to win. I want to win every game. I don't care about, draft position. Okay, we're going to pick 12 instead of 15. Get the fuck out of here. It's not like losing the last 3 games are going to get us a top 5 pick. Like, let's be serious. So I don't, I want to win every game. But more than anything, Kyle Shanahan needs to show us, the fan base, and show this franchise that he's willing to get out of his own way. Because it seems like he's getting in his own way.
Well, I mean, I tend to agree with you. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to go into Brock Purdy next, please. I wanted to give you some space to retort there, and you felt like you were going to let me keep ranting. So,
no. One thing I want to do is I just want to get this super chat in real quick because this is actually going to tie into what my response was going to be anyway. But Chris 49.99, thank you. A lot of people trashing our O-line. How big of a concern is it for you for next year. I mean, if you look no further, just look at our last game that we played against the Rams. In my opinion, I haven't been doing the film reviews, for those of you who have noticed. And one of the reasons is because I feel like I express a lot of criticism and a lot of emotions during the live streams. And a lot of that stuff is raw. And it's just, it's not performative, man. It really is. It's really just who I am. And you can attest to this. I am the same person off camera as I am on camera. Like, if not more.
That's a fact.
If you guys,
more. No, definitely more.
Yeah.
This is definitely the cultivated version.
Yes, I tone it down for YouTube. I really do. And
yep.
Really, I feel like sometimes I don't want the channel to be like this cauldron of like toxicity and hate. And if I watch the film and I feel as though that what I talked about in the live watch show is exactly what I'm seeing on film, but in a more granular and more like, negative fashion, I won't do the film because I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse. Especially with so many people who do the film already. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
for me, I will answer this super chat with the fact that the film was so bad offensively for the offensive line, particularly Aaron Banks in the interior offensive line. I would say Dominic Puni had the worst game of his career last week. Worst game of his career. For me, I'll tell you, man, offensive line has to be a priority. It was that bad. Offensive line they've had bright spots. I've defended them. I've loved on them when they deserved it, when they had decent games. I'll give you that. But offensive line's a problem.
So you're one of the people who showed me the video of like the grandfather of the zone scheme and kind of what the zone scheme looks for. They don't look for blue chippers. They look for specific types of athletes and things like that you can find in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round.
Right.
And I get that. The problem is this. The 49ers cannot go get a 3rd and 1 when the defense knows it's coming. The 49ers cannot – the offensive line is not just like – so the last few years, it's been like above average, right? It's like, okay, it's not a world beater, but it's fine, right? It's not hurting the team. It's fine. But it's bad now. Jake Brendel cannot run block. Jake Brendel gets consistently blown up in the interior. Aaron Banks is having his worst season, and he already regressed some last year. Trent Williams has been on and off and hurt, came into the year not conditioned very well, struggling, got hurt. And honestly, our two best last year, our right side of our offensive line was the problem. We couldn't run right. We couldn't do anything to the right. And this year, that somehow has become our strength. You plug in a 3rd round rookie, a 4th round rookie, and a journeyman level right tackle, and that's the strength of your offensive line. That's a massive problem. Massive problem. We can't fix it in the 5th round. We can't fix it with the right guy.
Right.
We have to attack the problems with the offensive line and get serious so transitioning to Purdy for a second, if that's unless you have more to add to the offensive line issues.
No, you can get to Purdy.
Because they tie in.
Yeah, go ahead and get to Purdy. I know my man JLP, he's chilling right now. He's good. Go ahead. Take your time.
So I think one of the things that happened this year, obviously Purdy's coming into this year. He just got married. He is on the top of the world. He just took his team to the championship game. He's about to play a season that's going to get him paid $60 million, all these things. And then he comes out, and I don't know if everybody remembers how the first 4 or 5 games went, but that man was running for his life. And on top of that, we were averaging, 4 or 5 drops a game? we were at the absolute dead bottom of the league as far as wide receiver separation, and there was a gap between us and team number 31. It was so bad. And I wonder, number one, as many times as he got planted, there's no way he didn't have an issue with his throwing arm. It was clear after like week 4, week 5, he couldn't.
Here we go.
He's
Are
shot
you about
putting
to
the
do
ball
what I think
half
you're
the time.
about to do?
No. Oh, no, no, I'm not. No, sir. No, I'm not. No, sir. I'm coming back around, I promise.
All right.
I think what happened is Brock Purdy's clock got messed up in his head. He's holding on to the ball too long when he shouldn't. He's dipping out of the pocket before he needs to and things like that. Now, the strength of Brock Purdy is timing and anticipation and accuracy, and the ability to process what's going on and get the ball to the right guy at the right time right away. He's very decisive, except for this year. I'm curious if what happened early on this season, for lack of a better term, ruined him. I don't think that's the case. I hope that's not the case, but that's one of my concerns. My second concern is if you play the style of quarterback that Brock Purdy does, which is timing, anticipation, you don't have a cannon arm, you can't fit the ball in late, you can't hit a guy with a rocket pass 30 yards down the field. You can't do all that stuff. You have to play within the physical ability that you have, which requires timing, anticipation, and decisiveness, all of which have fallen off this year. But what's even more important, what you absolutely cannot do is miss the open play. You can't miss the open guy.
You came here to talk your shit today.
2 or 3 times a game.
I see what you wanted today. You came here to talk your shit today. All right, go ahead.
I've been on this for.
Okay.
It's been rolling around. It's been rolling around.
I'm gonna let you cook. Do your thing.
When you play that style of football, you can't miss the open guy, and not just on occasion, but literally 2 or 3 times every single game. Brock literally airmails or dirts an open guy. That is backup journeyman style bullshit. If you are going to be the face of the franchise, you need to get your shit together. You need to hit. First and foremost, any franchise quarterback has to be able to hit the open play. The NFL is too hard.
Okay.
You cannot make it harder for yourself by missing an open guy, ever. You have to. No, this is the NFL. This is professional football. Sorry, Rob. I'll close out. So I don't want to take too much time.
Nah, he's good,
I don't want to take too much time, but I just.
He said, yo, Rob's hilarious. Nah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So I'm really concerned with how often Brock Purdy has messed up the timing, how often he has shot-putted footballs, and how often his decisiveness has been off. But all those things to me are super correctable, and they could be an element of what happened early this season got him really out of sorts. However, all of that aside, those fixable things, if you can't hit a fucking open guy in the flats, if you can't hit a slant pattern where the ball's on his back shoulder instead of out in front of him, you can't be a franchise quarterback. So I don't care about all those other things that are fixable. I don't care about all the excuses of why you might be playing poorly. If you're just not hitting the open guy often enough, and that's a problem. So Brock Purdy cannot get $60 million a year. If he does, that is the end of the 49ers for the next 3 or 4 years. We will continue to trend down until we're missing the playoffs consecutively. We will be back in both quarterback and coach purgatory because everyone will get fired within 3 years.
All right, baby.
If we pay Brock Purdy
Wrap it up.
$50 million, I got you.
All right.
If we pay Brock Purdy $50, it has to be on a team-friendly deal that you can get out of in a year or two. I'm okay paying him 50, 52, 54 if it's a deal that the organization has control of and can get out of after a year or two. I've said my piece, and I appreciate your time letting me go on my rant.
You know you my guy. I'll holler at you later, man. Thank you, man. Hey,
I see you, Coach.
hey. Give me a prediction. What you got for Miami?
Yeah. I do think the 49ers, I think we lose at least one of the last three, but I don't think it's this one. And I think we get our offense going a little bit. 27-17 Niners.
29-17 Niners. You think we're going to score 29 points?
27-17.
27-17. You got us by 10?
Yeah.
I mean,
with a big lead early.
PFF still loves us. They got us looking really good. Yes. You know what I'm saying? PFF still has a 7th overall, 4th overall on defense, 9th overall on defense. 4th overall on offense, 9th overall on defense. I don't know how in God's name we're 13th on special teams. How? But
somebody else is grading that film. It ain't me.
That is beyond.
I promise you that it ain't me.
But for
I don't
context,
know. Jake Moody's kicking 85% of his kicks, maybe.
It's crazy. For context, Miami's 25th on offense. They're 18th on defense and 31st on special teams, 24th overall on PFF. So we'll see, man. But hey, I'll talk to you, bro. We'll get at each other. I'll talk to you.
Appreciate you, bud.
All right, bro. Let's get some super chats out the way, guys, because you guys have been hitting up the supers. All right, so James Doneth, 199. What do you think about Taylor Green, quarterback from Arkansas? I'll tell you this. I liked Taylor Green when he was at Boise State. I really liked him this year. I only saw him one time, and that was the near upset against Oklahoma, where he threw for almost like 500 yards. Taylor Green, man, athletic, big arm. I like him. You know, I really do like Taylor Green. That's a sneaky find, James. You know your stuff, James. You know what I'm saying? James be knowing his stuff. Letitia Mathis, $10. Thank you. John, Manhattan John, Merry Christmas, Coach. Keep rocking the best Niners content. Manhattan John, my dude. Always. This is one of my day ones, man. Been rocking with me since the fuzzy background, dog. It's my guy. John, you know you're my man. And then also, you guys also just be sure to tap in tomorrow for the live watch party. The live watch party is going to be dope. Hey, let's get my guy in here. JLP.
What's going on, Coach? How you doing, man?
What's good, brother? It's been a long time. I feel like we haven't done a call-in show together in a while.
It's been a minute. You know, I've been watching, but normally I have to work until you do it. But luckily today you did it late, so it was okay. It worked out good.
Yeah.
I want to get in. I want to kind of touch in a little bit about what the last guy was saying about Purdy. And
okay.
What I'm going to say is that from what I've noticed with Shanahan, he'll get a QB, and that QB will be tearing it up. And then he messes the QB's mind up. And then the QB all of a sudden starts playing like shit. Happened with Garoppolo. Garoppolo came in there, his first, 5 games, he won all 5 of them. On a losing team, on a horrible losing team that didn't have any talent. Then Shanahan got all up in his head. The next thing you know, all of a sudden he ain't playing the same. You look at Purdy. Purdy came out killing it. What he took over for us against Miami, actually.
Right.
When Jimmy went down, killed it. Killed it the rest of that season. Did good the next year, albeit, after, the injury and stuff like that. And he's tried to do what he can do. I just wonder if Shanahan ain't too much in these guys' head.
Well, I got a theory.
Trying to make them perfect instead of just letting them play ball. Because you look at that one play last week where he had these 3 or 4 guys underneath that he could have hit. But Shanahan's play call said, no, you got to go to Jennings deep. And he threw the pick. Now, I just think vintage Purdy would have threw them underneath for Alice and this here to pick up the first.
He would have just went for what he knew.
Exactly. But it's in his head now. That's what I'm worried about with him, and that's why I don't want to offer him anything crazy. I mean, I would say, you know what? let's do a 2-year prove-it deal. You know, 40 per 80 total. Show me what you got. You're gonna get paid anyway. I mean, he's getting paid by Toyota. If you think that he went out and bought all them Toyota trucks,
the cat's out the bag. That was like that. I'll tell you this right now. That type of gift is a little bit of a flex. It's not the generosity. It's the flex. It's the flex.
Was Toyota saying, "How can we cash in?" That's what that was. Toyota was saying, as a company, how can we cash in? We got this guy, right?
Yep. Let's give away 8 of these goddamn fleet vehicles.
And they was all white. I mean, come on now.
They were fleet trucks. They're fleet trucks. Yeah.
I mean, you would think he would have picked red or something, to go with the 49ers type theme.
Nah, they spent it. The paint costs too much. Red is a $50 surcharge. We ain't doing that.
They probably gave him those at $100 each or something. Some kind of killer ass good deal that they wrote off on the back end.
We all know a work truck when we see one.
Exactly. They might as well have on the side of it Toyota.
They might as well put DOS on the side of it, man. So,
what's your predictions for the game?
Well, I mean, by the numbers, we should win, but we're just not that much better than them. Although we are. I don't really trust them in the run game. One thing that Miami has is they just got tons of fucking speed. They got a lot of speed, man, especially offensively. And defensively, I'm not really concerned about what they bring from a linebacker standpoint. I mean, they have somebody that we know, Jordan Brooks coming. That's their middle linebacker, but that's somebody that came out of Seattle, a guy that we've seen for many years. Then also Anthony Walker Jr., he's just a jag, just a guy. Really, I'm not really impressed with their secondary at all. They had one safety. One of the biggest things is Javon Holland, their strong safety. He was the guy. He's like a guy out of Oregon. He's been in the league for about like 3-4 years. He was the guy that called out Vic Fangio. Said that he needed to kick rocks. Vic Fangio is the reason why his game regressed, and he was glad that Vic Fangio was gone. And this year, without Vic Fangio, his defensive grade is a 60.9. His pass rush grade is a 59. His pass coverage grade is a 53.8, and his rush defensive grade is below 60. He's a bum. And this is a guy who at one point we all thought was going to be like a perennial Pro Bowler. We already know about Poyer, their free safety. And then, of course, Jalen Ramsey. But outside of that, they don't really bring anything defensively. What is special to me about them defensively is their interior defensive line. Calais Campbell.
Yes.
Calais Campbell and Zach Sealer. I mean, Zach Sealer actually had a sack against us the last time we played them. If you don't remember, the last time we played these dudes, this was Brock Purdy's coming out game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Brock Purdy came in and torched these dudes. But really, it's the interior. If we already know what we have in our offensive line, Jake Brindle, Spencer Burford now. He's out because if we get Aaron Banks back playing. I think that's a toss up at left guard, honestly, with the way Aaron Banks has been playing.
Let me ask you, did you see where our O-line coach or somebody come out there and said, "Oh yeah, Jalen Moore's a starting caliber left tackle in the NFL"? What? He's done okay. But
I think words are at a premium during seasons like this, right? So you really got to pay attention to everything that is said to the media is going to be some type of, projection or virtue signal towards, hey, I'm defending this guy, I want this guy to stay here, or hey, we understand that there's going to be some fat that's trimmed. I'm keeping Jalen Moore, or Jalen Moore's out of here. Let's get him paid. Yeah, he's a starting so-and-so. So right now, everything that they have to say, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty much, hogwash. They're not going to the playoffs. They know it. Season's all but done. They're getting the trash bags out as we speak. So for me, I just feel like, I want to see who wants to be a Niner. Like, who wants to be here? That's a really big, important thing to me. I've been on some bad teams, man, where we've lost. That's why I thank God for my career, because I've had, a full spectrum. I wasn't a blue chip guy where I just won all the time and went to great schools. No, man, I went to some bad schools, man. I played on some bad teams at times, right? I played on teams where we were bad and then became really good. But one thing you do know about playing on bad seasons are, when there's nothing to play for but your pride, that's when who wants to play football and who just wanted to win. And there's a difference, and you start recognizing guys stop coming to practice on time. Guys are kind of going through the motions during team drills. Guys aren't paying attention in meetings because they don't feel like there's anything to play for, or, how they answer games. The Rams game for me was like their, back against the wall. We still have life. That was that game for me. This game is really going to prove to me, like, who's here and who's not, right?
If it wouldn't have been a Porter rain, we might would have had a chance in that game. I mean, honestly, they said it was going to be like a 20% chance or something. Then they get to the game and it's like raining lights. I'm like, oh no, here we go. And it's nothing against Purdy. I like Purdy. I like him as a QB. I really do. But hell, I've got 2 Jimmy Garoppolo jerseys upstairs. I liked him too. But Purdy cannot throw the ball in the rain. And we don't practice it. How stupid is that?
Well, number one, that's very stupid. But 2, I have a theory about Brock Purdy and like him having, him slipping the ball out of his hands, him dislodging the ball, the ball slipping out. He does. Hold on. Brock Purdy actually does have normal size to big hands for a quarterback. He does. He's got normal size hands. He doesn't have small hands. I believe that it's Brock's lack of arm power. Like, when you can't generate power from, your body, and sometimes you have to arm throw, meaning that like all of the strength is basically coming from your shoulder, you tend to over grip the ball because you're trying to throw the ball as hard as you can, right? And when you over grip the ball, it's not a flick of the wrist, where you got a long body where you can bring that power generated through your legs, through your torso. And by the time it comes there, all the power is literally in the flick of the wrist, right? I feel as though that Brock, sometimes he muscles balls through, right? Where he feels like, I got to get this ball here. I'm late. I can't layer this. I have to. And that's where I feel like when he overgrips that ball in bad weather, what he's doing starts coming out. And what we think is, oh, well, Brock has small hands. It's in the rain. It's in inclement weather. This is what you expect from a small hand guy to really start giving up the ball in those moments. But I don't see it that way. I see it as Brock always overgrips the ball. It doesn't come up in good weather because he's able to, the conditions are favorable. But when we get in bad conditions, you'll see, if you think about it, if his hands were small, right, then we would also see things that also are emblematic of small hands, like fumbled snaps, right? Brock couldn't, we don't see a lot of fumbled snaps from Brock, right? Brock is always getting the snaps. We would see also things like Brock not being able to protect the ball when he gets tackled. Brock doesn't really give the ball up when he gets tackled. He goes to the ground. Most of the time when you see him actually, like, the ball slipping out of his hands is when he's trying to rip the ball or throw the ball and the ball just pops out and his hand goes flying forward. I believe that Brock is over gripping the ball. That's what I believe. That's why the ball slips out.
That makes sense. But I will tell you one thing, though. We did have a quarterback that could rip the ball, and they got rid of him the second they came in. I'm not going to name no name.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to name no names. I know that's a no-no. You can't say his name.
He who shall not be named. Yes.
Yeah.
We already know.
He's Voldemort, okay?
He's Voldemort.
He's Voldemort. You cannot say his name. But you know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
he could rip the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
He could throw it to a freaking brick wall.
Yeah.
Big, strong, fast, and then you go and you move up. You trade 3 first-round pick drafts to move up to get him 2.0, and that didn't work. At this point, we're pretty much stuck with Brock. Who else you gonna go get? Baker's not going nowhere. Maybe you get Sam Darnold again. What did he do for us? You know what I'm saying? Yes, he looked good with Minnesota this year, but Minnesota's a really good team.
Yeah.
And you think about it, the minute we pay Brock the ridiculous amount of money that we're going to have to, it's going to be to where bye-bye players. And don't get me wrong, nobody wants to see Debo back on this team next year. I don't think anybody wants to.
That is the worst kept secret in Niner news right now. Don't nobody want Debo here, man.
Not that I don't like Debo. Debo has been great over the years for us. When he's been on the field, he's been on his game, he's been great. But this year, he does not have that same burst. He looks fat. He looks slow.
Yeah. It looks different. He looks different.
Aside from that one kickoff return that was called back, he ain't done shit.
No. Nothing.
And the problem with that is this contract set up to where we will pay him more by cutting him than keeping him next year.
But that's where I think I do believe now. Let me kind of run this by you.
All right.
I do believe that there's a world where the Niners sit down and have real conversations with these guys. More of kind of like remember like the Spurs back in like 2007, where like everybody on the Spurs could have got paid max deals at one point, but they all decided to kind of step back. Timmy didn't take the max. Like Tim Duncan didn't take the most that he could take, so we could get Manu paid, so we could keep Tony Parker, so we can keep Bruce Bowen. And I believe that these guys, they talk a good game, but the core, because some of the guys who should have left, they left right away. Like Azeez Al-Shaair, he left at the right time. He knew, if I'm going to get paid the money that these guys are about to get paid, I got to get out of here. I'll never get this type of money if I stay here, right? DJ Jones, same thing. Man, I got to get out of here. Like,
Boy, we miss him right now.
Oh, my God. Even to a lesser effect, Kendrick Bourne, right? Hey, I'm hot right now. I have done a lot. I've carved out a role for myself on a very, famous team right now. I got to get out here in the market and get my deal, right? You guys aren't going to pay me.
Jimmy Ward.
Yeah, Jimmy Ward, same thing. But in my opinion, I do believe that the 49ers, the core, they've kind of missed that window because they got paid, right? So they all stayed. And for me, I believe that they know that the only way that they can make this type of money is if they stay here. Mm-hmm. Like, think about it this way. And this is like, now we talking about horse trading now. This is real, inhumane shit. But if we're talking about it from a real money standpoint, the Niners are not going to pay Brandon Ayuk $30 million a year. That's not happening. Right? That's not a mean...
And you take a whole freaking offseason to dick around with him, then he comes back. He's not the player he was.
Come on, man.
Good God, we could have drafted somebody off the street that had his numbers this year.
Yeah. So, for me, I think that the Niners are going to start having real conversations with these guys. Like Brandon, what are you going to do? What we're going to release you and then you're going to get out here? Where are you going? Exactly. Where are you going? Trent, you're 36 years old.
Man,
you didn't finish this year.
Go ahead. You want to retire, or do you want me to?
Oh, we want to come on, man.
What's another team will get? Okay, a 5th round pick. All right, done. Bye.
Right, Christian. Hey, man, what do you want to do? Where are you gonna go? In my opinion, if the Niners were very shrewd, they would realize that they truly have all of the leverage right now. And we could really fix our books. And if we're looking at it from like a ABC 1, 2, 3 kind of linear perspective where, hey, man, we got to follow the rules and man, we're killed on our salary cap if all of these things happen. But what if the Niners just cut the whole process, just cut in front of the line, circumvent the whole thing and just like, nah, fuck that. Yo, Christian, sit down. You're taking a pay cut. Trent, sit down. You're taking a pay cut. Debo, you want to stay here? You're taking a pay cut. Brandon, you're taking a pay cut. All of you are taking pay cuts. Javon, you're out of here. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Call my bluff. Where are you going to go, Christian?
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if this was, I know everybody hates Trent Baalke. I get that. I get everybody hates Trent. Trent Baalke is the one that got us the salary cap that afforded us the team that we have now. Because he was so frugal with that shit. Like, he would literally, no, I'm not paying you.
Yeah.
You know, and our GM now is like, oh, let's keep everybody together. Let's keep it all going. Now, I get the reasoning behind it because we were so close last year. You know, yes, 1 or 2 plays. We're Super Bowl champs. But it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, so at this point, it's about blowing up time.
Okay, all right. So if you were to blow it up, because this is the thing, you can't be halfway pregnant. Either you're going to do it or you're not, right? So if you were to blow it up, are you ready to rip the Band-Aid off? Everything. Because my opinion would be if you're going to do it, you got to go full hog.
Yep.
Cut everybody. Take all of the dead cap money. Take all of the hits right now. Don't void anything.
Have a shit year next year because you're not going to have all those players and you're going to be paying them to go play somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Scary.
I believe that they need to really blow it up. If they don't, and in certain instances, if they don't blow it up, they're just kicking the can.
What's the alternative? Bill Walsh used to say all the time back in the day, you get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late.
Yeah. Bill Belichick taught us the long time. Remember what he did with Richard Seymour?
Last year. He would have got rid of Debo's last year.
Yeah. He would have been let go of Debo.
And he wouldn't have signed Ayuk.
No.
And we wouldn't be in the salary cap hell that we're in right now.
No. I mean, you look at what Bill Belichick did with Deion Branch. It lets you know how he feels about receivers. Gotta go. Randy too. Let Randy go. Gotta go.
Shanahan used to be a receiver back in the day, so therefore he's all receiver this, receiver that. I get all that, but the game is won and lost in the trenches. I don't care what anybody says. That's why Harbaugh was so good at what he did because he put together a great offensive line and a great defensive line. I mean, hell, you had Justin Smith and Aldon Smith. You had Ray McDonald. You know, shit, on the offense, you had Mike I.U. Potty. You had Joe Staley. You had guys all over the offense and defensive line. Now, you might have not had the greatest wide receivers out there. You know, Michael Crabtree was your number 1. He wouldn't even be a number 3 for us right now. You know, he wouldn't even take Juwan Jennings' job. And I like Crabtree, don't get me wrong, but he's to me, he's Juwan Jennings. He's good at running routes, but not very fast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Michael Crabtree is Juwan Jennings. It's just Juwan Jennings 2.0. They're the same exact receiver, in my opinion. Exactly. I agree with you. That's a good call out, too. Nobody's ever really said that. That's a good call.
They are.
I just think that they're this year, we got to pay for our sins, man. And if we kick the can, it's going to be long, hard, pause, but it's just going to be horrible. And I think that if they do it next year, just rip the Band-Aid off, it'd be great for them. It'd be great for our team. Just one more. I mean, just continue it on this year. Next year will be a bad one, but at least we know that we're clearing the books, right? We're getting all of these bad contracts out of the way.
I don't know, man. You could get some good rookies to come in there and kick ass. I mean, we had a pretty good rookie class this year. You know, aside from a few guys, but most of them look pretty decent. Like, I mean, I could build off of that. Let's do that again.
100%.
Now here's the problem. Everybody's saying that they want us to tank these last. Fuck that. Pardon my French. Fuck that. You win
Right.
these fucking games. Who cares? Because we do not do good at drafting first round draft picks. We do not do good at that. The only one that we've ever drafted that was any good was Bosa. And I'll be honest with you, if somebody came to me with a sweet trade offer, done.
Yeah, I mean,
see ya.
the only thing about Nick is that when he plays, he does show his worth. But he's starting to get more hurt more than often. Like he's picking up injuries.
Brother, he's just like his brother. When he plays, he's great, but when he doesn't, what good is that doing us? I mean, you've always heard the best ability is availability.
Right.
If he's out there, great, and that's good, and that's fine and dandy. But when he's not out there, or he's not 100%, he's not doing a whole lot.
Hell no. I mean, but this year is a weird year. But like I said, we're gonna have to see how these guys play it out.
We can still
definitely
finish with a winning record, though.
Say it again.
We can still finish with a winning record.
We're not beating Detroit, dude.
I do not care. Crazy things happen any given Sunday, right? And we might be in Detroit's head a little bit.
We are not beating Detroit, JLP. You really think we're going to beat Detroit, bro?
Honestly, the way they playing offense right now, good God, they do got a lot of players injured too, though. So
Sure. Oh, you got the kitty on you.
Yeah, he's wanting to come over here and get in the conversation. Yeah. All right, back up.
Hey, man, give me a prediction before you get out of here, man.
I'm going to be optimistic and say 28-14. Us.
Niners?
Yeah.
Jeez. All right.
It could be the complete opposite. So I'm not holding my breath on any of it. The way our but normally what happens is we play very good against these shit teams, and then any team that's halfway decent, we fold.
Right.
And they're not ranked very good.
No. I mean, they struggle all over the field. The only it was hard for me to pick out actual, pieces that they are dangerous, and especially on defense because they're just kind of average. I mean, I really like what they have at linebacker. But outside, I mean, and that's just out of Jordan. I mean, that's just out of Jordan Brooks. But really it's Spiller, Campbell, and Jordan Brooks, the middle of their defense. Outside of that, I mean, Jalen, you got Jalen Ramsey. I mean, but that's he's a guy.
He can't play on George Kittle. So my game plan will be George Kittle. I mean, that would be my 100% game plan going into this.
Hell yeah. Mine too. I mean, right now we just got to run the ball at these fools too. But the interior defensive line, I mean, honestly, this is a game where outside zone, this plays right into what we do. We got to run outside zone again. And we got to stay in 11 personnel. Kyle Juszczyk cannot play a lot tomorrow. I mean, I'm talking maybe 10 snaps.
His ass 3 years ago, dude.
Yeah, Kyle Juszczyk can't play tomorrow, bro. He cannot play tomorrow.
I mean, you could go. You know what Harbaugh did? Harbaugh went and got a defensive tackle
and put him at fullback,
and was good. Was good. Why in the world are we paying an offensive weapon?
He's somebody else that's getting a pay cut.
Offensive weapon?
He's got to go. I mean, I think that Kyle's on the side of being let go though. He's older. He's he's coming up on his mid-30s.
He's got to go. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, obviously we're not going to talk about Campbell, dude, because he sucked anyway. Who cares? He sucked anyway. But you take two players, I will say, has to go at the second our season's over with. It's got to be Kyle Juszczyk and Debo.
I agree. Kyle Juszczyk and Debo got to go.
And honestly, if Trent Williams don't want to, be here, then he's got to go too.
No, I think Trent's going to be here. He's got paid, guaranteed money. I think the injury plus his off-field issues have really kind of much shut him down for the year, and I get it. But truth of the matter is, these boys needed it. They don't want to say it, and they'll probably never come out. and admit it, but they needed a season off.
Yeah.
They need a season off.
We've been playing late.
3 years in a row. It comes up. All of that overage starts compiling to an actual extra season.
Older team. I mean, if
they're older.
Like 24, 25-year-olds out there, we might can do it, but we're not.
Yeah. They'll never say it. I think Kyle would never admit it, but he even needs a season. I think they need a break. They need a break. Yeah. He's struggling.
Kyle looks rough this year. He looks like he don't even know. He's like, man, I just need some time. Let me go to the beach or something. I'll come back. I'll be rejuvenated. I mean, go get a haircut. Shave.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, right now they do. They need a season. And Germ, it's not an injury excuse. But it's just when you play that long, you know what I mean? And then you could also look at it. I tell you right now, I'm getting fried in the comments. I respect it. Coach needs to shut the hell up. What the hell is Coach talking about? They need a break. I feel all right. Look, so you know what? I'll give it to you. I almost gave him some. I almost shot him some bail, but you're right. Them needing a break is an excuse because that's like saying the Chiefs need a break. And look at what they're doing. They squandered the offseason. They were late on draft. They were late on contracts, okay? Late on the draft, all right? And half of them didn't show up to camp on time. And they tried to put these guys and play them right away. And injuries started happening with Christian McCaffrey. And you damn near lost Dre Greenlaw in the first game that he was back, all right? Shut down Jordan Mason for 3 weeks and gave him 3 carries in 3 weeks and then put him back on the field in the snow and then wonder why he's out. Trash, bro. So, yeah, hey, you know what, JLP? I'll take it from here, man. I'll holler at you. I'll holler at you, brother. I'll talk to you. You know what? I'm glad that you got me together, Germ. Thank you, Germ, and thank you, B-Star. All right? Thank you, because I would kind of was just faded into the conversation with JLP. And, you know, I was sitting here saying to myself, yeah, man, you know, it's just been a long season. And I almost lost myself for a second. So thank you for getting Coach back on track, man, because the truth of the matter is that they need to blow it up. They got to blow it up. All right, it's time to move on. If they do not rip the Band-Aid off this offseason, the void years, the contracts, the bloated money, the guaranteed money that all of these guys have gotten within this one offseason term is going to stick us for years. All right? Pause. No didn't. One thing that I will say is what I brought up to JLP, which is the Niners as an organization, we hold ultimate leverage. All right? We hold the leverage. The reason why we hold leverage is because where are they going to go? Okay? Where are they going to go? Like, where's Trent Williams going to go if we tell him it's time for you to take a pay cut, man? We saw what happened this season. You didn't finish this season coming up. And right about now, we don't feel comfortable moving forward with the multiple guaranteed years that we've given you in money. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. What are they going to do after he comes back? Shouldn't they have the conversation? I mean, they wanted to have the conversation when we lost. Didn't they? Nobody on the team, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, none of them said, hey, man, we just lost. You know, let me just talk to the organization and just, you know, be, you know, go along, get along to go along. Let me just, you know, be cooperative. Let's have really good No! They exercise their right as independent contractors. I feel like there's a quick way out of a lot of the mistakes that we've made with this regime. And that's telling these cats that I want a pay cut. Yo, you need to take a pay cut, bro. What would Trent Williams do if the 49ers sat Trent Williams down and asked him to take a pay cut? Where would he go? What would Brandon Ayuk do if the 49ers sat him down and said, hey, man, in good faith, we were paying for a $30 million a year receiver. You are not a $30 million receiver anymore. What is he going to do? Go make 15 somewhere else out of spite? What is Deebo Samuel going to do if we sit him down and say, you need to take a pay cut, bro? You have underperformed your contract. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We can't do it. Or go out there and go find a trade. Go get a trade. We could do the same thing with Kyle Juszczyk. Nah, bro. Nah. We ain't doing it. No. Here go this new money for you, or you can get gone. Come on, man. Where would he go? Where would Kyle Juszczyk go and make that type of money? I don't know, man. For me, I just see as though, like, yeah, there's a process to do things, but sometimes you got to break the fourth wall, right? And you got to just say, you know what? I know the way this is supposed to go, but fuck that. We doing shit my way. I do feel like I wouldn't be mad at the organization for moving like that, especially with what they put up with over the offseason. Imagine if this would have all went down on record, because truthfully it has. Imagine what the organization has had to put up with over the summer. You guys lose the Super Bowl. You get guaranteed money running out on Trent Williams' deal. He holds out, gets his money down to the bitter end. Gets hurt, has some unfortunate off the field situations, but he's done for the year. That's the facts. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. Have a deal. Finally get to the point of the deal where it works for us. Your guaranteed money is up. We actually get you at a smaller rate while you're still the number one paid running back in the league. Right? And you hold out and say, no, I need guaranteed money. I want to solidify my future. And then you come in with 2 tendonitis-ridden Achilles. And you're going all over getting Birkenstocks and everything to figure out what's going on with you. And then when you come back, you're done in 3 weeks. Come on, man. We ain't doing this. We are not doing this. Come on, man. Hey, man. Hey.
Hey, we ain't doing this, man. The robot.
We ain't doing this. We are not doing this. I think next year would be a perfect year to rip the Band-Aid off. Rip it off. Rip it off. What's what my man Jerry Seinfeld said? Right off. Rip it off. All right. We got to move forward, man. Next year is going to be a hellacious year. It's going to be a year where quite frankly, we're going to lose. But we've done a lot of sweeping under the rug, man. Like we have extended guys, paid guys upfront money to clean the books. We've done a lot, and that's fine. You know, we got big bills, man. Expensive lifestyle. I get it. Trying to go. Things happen when you're having fun. We trying to go get a Super Bowl window. We end up paying some money. You know, we zig when we should have zagged. You know, married a couple of cheap when we shouldn't have had to. You know, things got wild. But at the end of the day, now it's time to clean up. It's time to go to rehab. And I think those hard conversations with the core is perfect. Because again, part of the how can I say, the depth, or like the starter depth, because we had starter depth on this team. They realized that there was already a core and they had to go get paid elsewhere, right? DJ Jones realized, hey, man, I'm not Eric Armstead. I'm not Nick Bosa. I'm not going to get this deal. I'm moving on. I got to go get my deal. All right. Azeez Al-Shaair did the same exact thing. Hey, man, I love it here, but I ain't Fred. I damn sure ain't Dre. I ain't Dre. And I'm not going to get the money that I know I deserve, so I got to go. These guys, they went out into the real market at the best of what their skills had to offer. But I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing is the core, they stayed and got paid. Cool. But the dope part about that is they're getting older. So now they can't go back out on the market. It's like, I'm not going to make that. I was going to make a wild analogy, but I'm not. But everybody knows about the wall. And these dudes on the core, they've hit the wall. They've hit the wall. Fellas, we all know what the wall is. All right? And there's a lot of young women out here, lovely ladies, who have no idea about the infamous wall. All right? And nobody gets over the wall. Ain't that right, fellas? I'm over here. If you know, you know. I'm spitting for the handlers. I'm spitting for the people that know what they talk about right now. The wall is undefeated. And I'm just telling you, hey, these joints, on our team, we had some baddies. You know what I'm saying? They was running around here. You know what I'm saying? At the BBL, they look at, hey, that BBL drop, baby. Hey, they hit the wall. So they walking around, and you know, come on, man. What's the worst thing of all time? Is seeing somebody who just don't know that they done hit the wall. You just don't even know. You don't even know. You out here thinking that, man, you about to get this Miller Lite, man. You ain't getting no Cosmopolitan. You done hit the wall, baby. You ain't, hey, champagne? Girl, you better get this Boone's Farm. That's for the wall. Champagne is for the before the wall. You after the wall. You in the wall. So we can't be paying these dudes no pre-wall prices, man. They done hit the wall. We got to treat them, hey, don't be no sucker. Don't be no sucker. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying is that we got some guys that we overpaying for, and we treating them like dimes, and that ain't it. That is not it. So, hey, don't be no sucker out here. Don't. Come on, man. Hold it down for the bruhs, man. Niners. Hey, man. Respect yourself, King. Respect yourself, King. That's all I'm saying. Don't be out here footing the bill for stuff out here that you ain't got to be doing. You ain't got to be doing all that. It's other left tackles out here. It's other left tackle. Hey, you can get you another Debo. You ain't got to put up with that mess. Come on, man. Don't want to be in shape. Don't want to get it together. You still footing the bill for all of that? Hey, man, respect yourself, King. Respect yourself. That's all I'm saying. Is right now we got some dudes out here on our team who are making some high-priced money, and they ain't really putting out the productivity. And it's time to move on. Let's get to some super chats, man. Cam's dad, $2. Ricky 5-7, 5-7 Sunday at 90 yards. Most talking heads wrong. I hear you. Hampton, Carolina, $2. Time for a mini blow up. Trade Kyle, Purdy, and Bosa. That's never happening. And that's not a mini blow up. That is an official blow up, Amp. But yeah, like I just said, I think it's time for them to play tough with these guys. This whole season should have been an eye opener for the organization. Like, we're never doing this again. We're never doing this again. We have got to nip this in the bud. Anthony, Carolina, $2. Thank you. Hire Ben Johnson, trade for Hendon Hooker or Joe Milton. No way. Come on, man. Stop playing Madden. And well, I mean, I like the Ben Johnson hire but Anthony, Carolina, $2 as well. Thank you, bro. Draft Genty and then linemen every round. We may need a running back. We'll see. But look, I'm going to tell you, these are the things that we need to do to be able to move forward. Guys, I'll tell you this. Tomorrow, we got the live watch party. against the Miami Dolphins. I will be here at 4:25 p.m. Eastern. That's 1:25 Pacific. We will go through this game. Right about now, it looks like the Niners are slotted to have really a tough game. This is a mid-off. Let's just be real. I can't truthfully swing this game either way. I can't say that the Niners are going to win this game handedly, and this is the reason why. And I can't say the inverse for the Miami Dolphins. These are two middling teams, all right? We are hands down one of the worst fourth quarter and third down defenses in the league, especially as far as the Niners are concerned. Since 1999, we are the worst in this defense is the worst in that metric as far as red zone defense, fourth quarter defense, and overall third down defense. So right there, that's something that is not going to get fixed within 1 week, 2 weeks, or the rest of the season. Offensively, we already know we're a mixed bag. What is Kyle gonna do? Isaac Guerrero looks like he may not go. I don't think he's practiced at all this week. So right now we got to see exactly what we're gonna do at running back without Isaac Guerrero in the game. So I mean, is this a Keyshawn Vaughn or a Patrick Taylor Jr. day? I don't know, or maybe another Deebo Samuel day. I don't know. But look, I'll tell you this. I'm just looking for basic effort. I'm looking for millionaires who get paid to play a game, who are going to do their job for 4 quarters. It is that basic for me after this. I will tell you is that we do win this game if we run the ball. We have to run the ball. We say this every week. We say this week in and week out. Obviously, I want to see how Brock bounces back from a very shaky game against the Rams. I'm also want to see offensively how we bounce back for offensive line wise. Like I said before, Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell, these dudes are, PFF has them ranked as the 8th and 6th overall defensive tackles in the league playing next to each other. So right now, you gotta see exactly how that's going to move forward. Exactly. Robbo just let us know Guerrero already ruled out it's the Taylor show, which is wild. But we got to see exactly how they're going to do, run the ball anyway. I'll tell you this right now. Patrick Taylor Jr. is a great inside runner. It's a shame we haven't utilized him more, but for what it's worth, I don't know if Kyle will use it or not. But defensively, they're just a sum of all parts. Like I said before, Jordan Brooks, their linebacker, inside linebacker, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, who we know well. He'll be playing tomorrow alongside of Anthony Walker Jr. The biggest thing for the Niners is to stay in 11 personnel. That's the huge advantage as far as I'm concerned. What we really want to do is keep Kader Kohu, their nickel corner, on the field. This dude's bad. He's bad. I'm talking about pass rush grade of 39.8. He's got a coverage grade of 42.3 and a run defense grade of 33.5. The Niners, dare I say it, we're going to have to be able to beat them with our formation. I know we love going 12, but right now we got to go 11 personnel. We don't do it a lot, but we got to go 3 receivers. We got to go 11 personnel, not 4 wide, not empty, 11 under center. Kyle.
Get it together.
All right. So we go 11 personnel. We'll be able to keep their secondary locked onto the field. Excuse me. Specifically keeping Kohu on the field, which I love the matchup with him. And then take your pick, man. Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, Jawan Jennings, whoever you want to put at the slot. Just make something happen over there. George Kittle against this defense is a plus matchup. George Kittle should get no less than 8 to 10 targets this game. I'm sick of it. George Kittle should get no less than 8 to 10 targets this game. We already talked about that bum Javon Holland, their strong safety. Talked all that mess on Vic Fangio. Turned out he had another dud of a year. He's reeling. And then we already know exactly who Poyer is, their free safety. Right now, offensively, Tua's been cooking. I think he's over like 70%. He's like in like 73% completion percentage throughout the year, which is like leading the league damn near. We already know exactly what Devon A-Chain brings in speed. Raheem Mostert, speed. Tyreek Hill. He's questionable to play this game, so I believe that he's going to be a game time decision. We already know that Jalen Waddle will be out for this game. And then don't look now, but we got our boy coming back, River Craycraft. River Craycraft is playing the Z for the Miami Dolphins. He'll be there. But I will tell you, X factor on offense for the Miami Dolphins is Malik Washington. This is their 6th-round rookie draft pick out of UVA, the University of Virginia. This guy's 5'8", 194, and he has moves. I'll tell you this right now. We've already seen guys where what's my boy out of Seattle, the Jackson Smith and Jigba. We saw him. That we've already seen Tutu Atwell. We've also seen a lot of slots. My biggest point is that good slot receivers have had their way with us, their wicked way, right? And we lost to the Rams without Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp necessarily going off against us. Malik Washington is yet another name. He's another guy. This kid is good, okay? And I'll tell you this. He's got very sneaky physical run blocker, all right? That's one of the reasons why they love that speed on the outside. He does just enough to get an edge or to create a seam out there. So I'll tell you, Malik Washington is somebody else who offensively we need to watch out for going up against Miami. We've already looked at what Miami does overall in their PFF grades. I'll go over it one more time just for context. But on offense, they rank 25th. Defense, they rank 18th. Special teams, they rank 31st overall. 31st overall. But overall in the NFL, they rank 24th. The Niners, for context, I have no idea why PFF loves us so much. But offensively, we're ranked 4th on offense. Defense, we're ranked 9th. Special teams, 13th. How? And 7th overall with a 6-8 record. So, take it for what it is on PFF, but numbers wise, it's looking like we should beat these guys. But the biggest thing about us is that we rank 30th in red zone scoring, and for red zone scoring for Miami, they rank top 10. They rank not top 10, just outside of top 10 at 12th overall on offense. So also, that's another uphill battle that we'll have to see against the Dolphins facing them tomorrow is the red zone disparity between the two teams. Rushing the ball, Miami, they don't rush the ball a lot. They rank 22nd in the NFL with only rushing the ball about 41% of the time per play. However, the Niners, we see a lot of people running the ball against us, where we see about 46.28% of our plays are run plays against us on defense. Teams feel as though that they can really get up against our run defense rather than see our secondary. And that's emblematic of our secondary probably being one of our better units through a down year. Yards per rush for them, they rank damn near dead last in the NFL at 31st with 3.9 yards a rush. And right now, it doesn't matter because the Niners are giving up 4.3 yards a rush. So it's just, it really is like going over the numbers. It's just, to be honest, you got to be honest. It's a shit show. It is. And we're just both bad. Even when we show, anytime you look at a metric where we look better than them, you come right back and say, oh, well, we suck at third down. And it's just like, oh, well, they suck at third down. It's like, all right, well, what does that tell you? Nothing. This is a mid-off. This is a mid-off. We're going to be able to see exactly how it goes. One thing, I'll throw Isaac up here real quick so we can have another caller and then move on with the show. Isaac, what's good, cuz?
What is good, Coach? How you doing, bro?
I'm all right, Brody. Talk to me.
Man, so first off, just want to say thanks for letting me be on the show. First time caller, super excited.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, man, it's been a real up and down season. And, I just wanted to kind of get your opinion and like what your thoughts are on the possibility of whether the Niners should or shouldn't extend Brock Purdy.
Oh, okay. So, yes, I think the Niners should extend Brock Purdy. I do. Because it's better to have a quarterback than not have one at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So my conversation is, what do we pay him and for how long?
Yeah.
I do believe that Brock has done enough to have a conversation about him being extended. Now, I fear that maybe Brock's side, meaning like his agents, his representation, my fear is that they're trying to gaslight this into like a franchise quarterback conversation.
Right.
Like he wants 55 million. And it's just like, wait a minute. We didn't say. It's like the girl who you ask your girlfriend, you're like, what do you want to eat? And you're driving past Chick-fil-A and she's like, I was really thinking about Roof Chris, and a porterhouse. You're like, whoa, it's Tuesday.
I don't know about all that. Like, it's like Chick-fil-A is the only option.
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? It's Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon. You better get this. You better get this 12 count. Playing with me. You better get these waffle fries with this Polynesian sauce. You can get a milkshake. You can get a milkshake. I'll do a milkshake. So
I agree, brother.
That's my problem with Brock, is that I believe that there's a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
What conversation do both sides want to have? Because the Niners could be saying, yeah, of course we'll. Brock, come on, man. Brock. Yes, we'll have a conversation with you about your extension. But then Brock could be coming in saying, well, yeah, I was thinking around like 50. And it's like, whoa. First of all, what are you doing thinking? You don't do that.
What are you doing thinking?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Second of all, we're here to let you know exactly what you're worth. So I don't know. That could be the delta between the two. Trying to get on the same page.
Yeah. Honestly, I totally agree. I feel like just, with the Niners kind of past history with paying players a lot more than they probably should have, odds are I think they're going to give him, I feel like they're probably going to end up giving him pretty top of the market just because of like whatever the market value is for quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But again, to your point, I feel like the Niners haven't, and I mean, maybe they have, but I feel like they have kind of shown that they haven't necessarily learned from their past mistakes, and they're going to end up paying him top of the market, and hopefully it'll work out. But I think then the conversation kind of becomes, especially with like Debo aging and, a lot of our team kind of getting older, I feel like it then is going to become like, how do you build around him? And like, what like younger guys are you going to bring around him too?
Yeah, I agree with that. And this comment by Great One 765, why pay Purdy at all? That's going to be wasted years with him, even if we have an out after 2 years. I don't think it is. Yeah. Because football is still there's still a human element to football. Mm-hmm. All right. And you need a leader to carry you through. And also you need a leader in the locker room so you don't get fucking fired. All right. And you gotta, if the Niners don't pay Brock at all right, number one, you're gonna lose the locker room.
Yeah.
Full stop. Okay.
The whole team is totally bought into him.
Yeah, thank you. And that's what I mean. Great One. It's not about him necessarily being a leader. All right. Look at it this way.
Yeah.
The C on the chest doesn't always mean leader, but it definitely means buy-in. Mm-hmm. Right? It means so it may not mean that, yo, this is the guy that slaps us on the ass and motivates us and tells us what to do and is in the middle of the locker room, giving the pregame speeches. No. But sometimes the C on your chest is, hey, that's our guy. He's the guidon. He's the flag bearer. Right. This is our guy. And that's what I mean by if you're too rough with Brock, which I don't believe I think the organization is itching to pay him.
Yeah.
It's just that this season is kind of, I feel like this season has kind of gotten in the way. Yeah. So it's like, all right, now we can't ignore what we've been seeing this year because, quite frankly, in order to pay Brock as a franchise quarterback, whatever you pay him, there has to be an element to his game where he is the reason why we win.
Yeah. And I mean,
not he's the reason why we didn't lose.
right.
But
right.
he is the sole reason why his game elevated our team and we won. And I think that is something that we have not seen from Brock yet. What do you say, Isaac?
You know, I definitely agree. I think he's shown moments where, like, even last year, what was it against the Green Bay Packers? A lot of the times where he used his like mobility to be able to get first downs. I feel like he has shown a lot of those moments. Well, I don't necessarily want to say a lot, but I feel like he has shown flashes where he's been able to kind of take moments where he's been given opportunities and literally run with them, because he's been able to use his mobility, which I think is a skill that, like, for example, like Jimmy Garoppolo didn't necessarily have. He was a fucking statue.
Right.
But to your point, I feel like he's shown enough to get paid. I don't know if he's shown enough to be $60 million paid and that esque of financial payment. But I do feel like he's definitely shown enough to get a solid contract, and then hopefully they'll like build around him, because Debo ain't doing shit anymore. So
yeah,
being able to, I think it then becomes not only about paying Brock, but then how are you going to build around him? Because a lot of our team is getting older, and who knows? At this point, I feel like this season has really showed that our Super Bowl window is pretty closed.
Yeah,
so,
it's not a window no more. It's a wall.
It's a wall. It literally, we're running into a wall at this point. But yeah, then I feel like it becomes, how do you build around him to then make sure that, like, he can continue to grow? Because he's shown flashes, but if he still has kind of the same like mediocre team around him with like aging players, odds are he's going to continue to struggle, especially if our O-line doesn't really get beefed up, and like Trent's also getting older. So I think we not only got to pay him, but we gotta be able to give him the opportunity to have players that will actually help him succeed as well. Because, he can't do it on his own.
No quarterback can do it on their own. That's the thing. His pay needs to be emblematic of that balance.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever we pay Brock, it needs to balance off what we need to go get to accentuate his skill set. That's my biggest thing. Yeah. I feel as though that Brock, if anything, Brock came in and showed what he could do with an offense that many quarterbacks before him just really didn't seem to know how to play with. I think the biggest thing for Brock now with Kyle is buy-in, like we talked about. I'm glad that we brought this up. I believe that if you really want to see Brock succeed, then you're going to have to completely tailor the offense to what he does best.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, well, I'm going to get this guy, and if Brock can get him the ball, then, if Brock could just see this play, then it will work.
Right.
No more of Brock's got to fit to your offense. Once you pay this man, that means that the offense is tailored to Brock.
Exactly.
And I don't
let him make some audibles, let him make some changes.
They got to give him ownership. It's got to be a real team.
If it's, like, if he's going to have that C on his chest, like you said, let him be a captain.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this right now, and I know this may be hard for you to take, man, but there's a reason why they haven't done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know. I think they know. I think that they have already assessed what they have in Brock, and they know that if they it's like your friend who's got like the perpetual girlfriend. It's like, man, when you gonna marry that girl?
Yeah.
Like, when are you gonna marry her? Like, dude, you've been with her for like 8 years. Like, we're like out of college. How long have you been with her? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, are you gonna? And what you do understand is that on the low, you ain't gonna say it to your mans, but you gonna, man, you don't love that girl, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you like the situation.
Yeah.
Like, y'all live together, like
she
doesn't really
of it.
Exactly. She don't really push you. You know what I mean? And come on, man. And I feel like if Brock was quote unquote, if you remember this, we can go find it, but Kyle Shanahan said, and I quote, Brock Purdy is the real deal.
He did say that.
Kyle said that. Kyle said that, no, Brock is the real deal.
And then he also said Sam Darnold could be the next Steve Young. So,
he's on meth. I don't know, man. Dude, I don't fucking know, man. Like, Kyle's so wild, bro. Like, he didn't say that shit. I'm so like, you just reminded me. I can't believe him, bro.
I'm just saying I had to remind you. Kyle be saying
fucking freebasing. What's the matter with you?
Fucking Breaking Bad shit.
Yeah, dog. Stay off the peyote. Out of here. Giving us these Aaron Rodgers takes. Fucking ayahuasca takes.
Ayahuasca takes from Kyle. Hey,
bro.
Honestly, oh man, that needs to be a segment on your guys' channel. Ayahuasca takes from Kyle Shanahan.
There is no way that they will put their names on stuff like that. They still got to see these people in real life.
Of course.
But I mean, for me, man, I do see it that way. I don't think that I believe that sometimes, we're here for the excuses football, right? But we use this stuff because we want the team to win and we understand that, there's a common goal involved. But their goal is not our goal. Our goal is to be happy with our team and to win as much as possible at all costs. Win.
For sure.
Right? Their goal is we got to pay the bills. We got to keep the lights on. We got to build the portfolio of this team. We have to grow more money, which is fine. There's nothing, not demonizing business. But what it is that they have a hard time with the ebb and flow of keeping it real.
Yeah.
And I think that the elephant in the room right now is that there's a civil war inside of the fan base where there are some people who want Brock to get paid all of that money because the illusion of winning and staying like in the now is good enough to always just be chasing. And then I know that there are other fans who know the greatness of this team and they can see right through it and understand that this is a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
He's good. He's not bad, but he's a bridge. He's a bridge to what we really need.
Yeah.
To what we really need. And that's the problem. And the truth is that the fans that really want Brock to get paid this amount of money, that huge money, the irony is that those are the fans who will all tell you that we still have a Super Bowl window.
Yeah.
They don't even know what they're setting this kid up for if he gets paid that type of money.
Yeah.
So, I just feel, I think Brock is a great person. I think he's a good player, but he's caught up in a narrative that is not his fault.
Yeah.
But the truth is that he's a bridge quarterback. He's a bridge to where we want to go. Because if he was the guy, the whole room would be saying, all right, give it up. This is our guy.
Right.
This is
like
it.
We know.
Come on, man. The truth ain't hard. The truth ain't hard to tell, man. The truth ain't complicated. It's not. Yeah. It's when you start getting into all of this, the numbers and this DVOA, and actually, if you divide the square root of pi, that's when you're getting in all of this bullshit. It's like, all right, you lost me, bro.
Yeah, like, nah, just watch the tape.
Hey, man, give me a prediction before you get out of here, bro.
For the game?
Yep.
I'm going to say, honestly, I do think the Niners are going to win. I'll say, I think it might be a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 21-17 Niners.
Bet. Get at me, man. Come out for the watch party tomorrow, man.
Yeah, bro. Where at?
On my channel, cuz.
Oh, shit. See?
Come on, man. Hey, man, stay off the ayahuasca, dog. Get out of here, man.
Hey, man, never that, bro. I work for ASU. I can't be doing that shit.
I got you, dog. I talk Go Sun Devils, man.
Hey, man, have a good one, bro.
You as well, man. Call in again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Hey, man, that was a great call, man. Hey, man, again, while we talk about it, guys, tomorrow will be the live watch party. This was another great call-in show. Guys, I will be doing call-in shows. I'm back. I know I missed last week. I'm back with the call-in shows. Tomorrow, we will be here with the live watch party for the Miami Dolphins at 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific time. And we will be here live in effect. If you haven't been to a live watch show party, bring your Valium. It gets a little wild. All right? But if you have been to a live watch show party, you know how it's going to get down. We're going to bring the energy anyway. We don't care. I'm going to be like a mama at a funeral. Jesus, Papa, baby, Lord, Jesus, wait. Brock, get up. Brock, get up, Brock. Oh. I'm going to give it all to you. So as you know, it's the coach. Stay low and keep your feet moving. I'll holler at you guys.